Shrek is one of the most famous and beloved animated franchises of all time, but before the famous ogre made it to the big screen, he made his debut back in 1990 with a book by cartoonist William Steig. Punctuated as Shrek, the comedic picture book is a simple, yet clever story, making fun of classic fairy tale tropes. For starters, the character who would normally be the monster of the tale is now the hero. He also gets his happy ending, but not exactly the way most fairy tales would have it. Plenty of the familiar characters fans love from the films have some analog or counterpart in the original book. However, they often go in different directions. Some characters have completely different personalities or have different roles in the story than their more famous animated counterparts. In the end, however, they both tell a subversive fairy tale about the importance of being true to yourself. That said, some cut characters and ideas were brought back for the sequels and other spin-off media. Early on in the films, Shrek doesn't need to do much to scare people, as most write him off as a scary ogre on sight. In the book, however, Shrek is shown to have a variety of supernatural abilities, such as shooting fire beams from his eyes, eating lightning, and even breathing fire. Heat vision comes in handy at lunchtime. In the films, Shrek is never shown to have any magical abilities, though being an ogre naturally makes him stronger and gives him more endurance than an average human. Interestingly, Shrek Forever After establishes that Shrek doesn't know about all the things ogres are capable of, suggesting he might have some latent powers he simply never knew he could use. In the films, Shrek never expected to fall in love with Princess Fiona. After Lord Farquaad banished the kingdom's fairy tale creatures to the swamp, Shrek ventured forth to bring Farquaad the princess in exchange for getting his swamp, as well as his peace and quiet, back. However, Farquaad isn't in the book at all, meaning this plot device didn't exist either. Lord Farquaad wasn't in the book. Shrek's mother and father are mentioned early on in the original book. They are both described as ugly, but Shrek is said to outdo both of them put together in that regard. In time, they think that their son is ready to leave the nest, which is actually described as more of a black hole, and literally kick him out into the world. They were brought back for the Broadway show. Shrek's parents don't appear in the animated films, though an early draft of the first movie kept them as major characters. This version would have portrayed them as overly protective of their son, even trying to convince him that humans love ogres. This would have inspired Shrek to leave home and prove himself as a knight. In Shrek the Third, Shrek mentions his father tried to eat him. This is also the reason Shrek has reservations about becoming a father himself. In Shrek Forever After, Shrek is unaware of certain ogre abilities, suggesting he didn't spend too long with his parents. Supplementary material has occasionally explored the characters. The Broadway musical, for example, similarly has them throw Shrek out of the house. Unlike the book, however, they do this when Shrek is still a child, though they are acting out of the ogre tradition. Shrek's parents also appeared in an issue of the comic series released to promote Shrek Forever After. This version is worried that Shrek might not be teaching their grandchildren to be proper ogres, although Shrek eventually sets them straight. Even anti-heroes need villains. Instead, the book had Shrek interested in the princess the second he hears about her from the witch, and this is what starts his journey to meet her. That said, unlike in the movie, the witch makes clear the princess is the girl for Shrek early on. The introduction of Lord Farquaad helps give the story a more proper villain. This makes sense for the film, since, while Shrek was something of an anti-hero in both the book and the film, he was made much more sympathetic for the animated adaptation.